This game, genuinely, I love it when a host leaves a session and the game crashes because of it. It's great. I was legit talking about it. I was hoping that F1 2021 wasn't going to be busted. Well, if this is what this game is like, then I'm gonna have to lower my hopes quite a bit. Alright. Yep, as soon as the game crashes, the stream crashes as well. So, that's fun. As soon as something stops, everything else stops with it, so. But anyway. Seems that we're going to have a complete reset of the lobby. We can get back underway shortly. Fortunately, this new lobby was done up pretty quickly, so kudos to those in charge of the tier of getting the drivers and myself in. Did a great job of getting everything back up and running so quickly. This is fun. Right, yeah, everything's back up now. Good, and the stream and whatnot. That's fantastic. I like this game. I like this game. That's what I have to tell myself. I like this game. How was your day? I have to tell myself that every time I play this game. I love this game. So then I don't have a fit about it afterwards. Oh. That's okay. Everyone's here, so we'll just be setting up the custom grid. Hopefully it won't take too long. Maybe Bothog could argue to get his 5 grid place penalty removed. I don't know. Petter, I can't say that. I can't say what is the last 3 digits on the back of your credit card. What I had for breakfast, I've had nothing for breakfast. I really should have breakfast. I have not had breakfast. And that doesn't help, because breakfast is great. Breakfast is honestly the best meal of any day ever. Because I hate mornings. And breakfast is the only thing that genuinely wakes me up. Because aren't mornings great? Like, you get, of a night time, you're tired, you go to bed, you sleep, you wake up, you're still tired. Your body basically says, screw you, I'm going to take an hour, okay? And then I'm going to be with you in just a moment, alright? And typically breakfast sort of helps with that deal. Wake up a bit more. It's very important to have breakfast, and I haven't had any. And I really should. That's why I go to McDonald's 4 times a day. I'm morbidly obese, so. Seems that a couple of drivers are readying up. I don't think we've got the go-ahead signal just yet. Still be waiting on everybody. That's okay though. Probably a good idea in these sort of scenarios to just be patient. Everything will get sorted eventually. Well, we're getting close to race time, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the settings, everything looks right. Race distance, car performance, vehicle damage on full weather custom, that's good. One thing that drivers really have to worry about is setups, because when you load onto the track, you'll be on default setup, so you have to make sure that you put one in Otherwise, you're going to have a horrible time on the racetrack. You really do need to make sure that you do have some sort of setup applied to your car. If you don't, you're really not going to enjoy this race. How about Scott McLaughlin? Well, Scott, in IndyCar, he's doing pretty well. You have to say, going from a big, heavy touring car in the V8 Supercar Championship to go over and race open wheelers that generate tons of downforce, he's done pretty well. He finished in the top 10 at St. Pete, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he finished 10th at St. Pete, which is a pretty good drive on his part, because St. Petersburg isn't exactly the easiest racetrack to overtake around. And one thing I've noticed with IndyCar racing, man, you go on some bumpy racetracks. Just looking at the cars going over the street parts at St. Petersburg, you're just jumping around everywhere. Like, gee whiz. Do you ever repave your roads or something along those lines? Deary me. You have it destroyed back after the race, just going over the sheer amount of bumps that you go through over the course of the race. And it's 100 laps long, if I recall correctly. Around a track like that, oof, that'd be a nightmare. No, I'm quite pleased with how he's performing, representing Oceania quite well, as he's not exactly Australian, he's from New Zealand, so, but still he's performing well. So are many of the rookies in IndyCar at the moment. Romain Grosjean has been performing quite well, and Jimmy's still learning the car. Had a rather embarrassing moment at the final turn, but you know, he's still accustomizing himself to the car, learning all the fundamentals of driving an IndyCar, so can't be too harsh on the guy. No, starting to get more involved with other national motorsports like IndyCar. I've also kept tabs a bit on DTM, noticing the new GT3 format, which is quite fascinating to look at. But anyway, the random babble out of the way. Drivers are on their formation lap, their second one, because we all love formation laps. So, let's do this again. Now, drivers, I assume, will have to start on the tyre they qualified on, and that's what the top 10 have done. All of them are starting on soft compound tyres, but they get a teeny weeny bonus in the sense that they're on fresh rubber. They're not on scrubbed rubber. So they have that extra little bit of life from those soft compound tyres. Outside of the top 10, we still have Bothold down in 16th place, so he wasn't able to get rid of that 5 grid place penalty he copped in quali. Just going through the order outside the 10 to just revise. We have Mitch Burns on the medium compound tyre, Lunacy in 12th on the softs, Wingett in 13th on the mediums, Andy in 14th on the softs, Kitten Petter in 15th on the mediums, same with Bothold in 16th place, Barmer in 17th on the medium compound tyre, the Stone Towel in 18th on the medium compound tyre, and Lopez at the back of the field also on the mediums. I think the Stone Towel made a change. I'm pretty sure he had the soft tyre equipped just prior on the previous formation lap in the previous race, but he's elected to switch it up and go on the mediums. I don't think there'll be too many problems about that, would there? I'm not sure. Anyway. Okie doke. Leaders are coming back onto the pit straight. They'll line up into their respective grid slots. That is the wrong camera shot there, Cody. Deary me. Don't need that camera shot. I mean, it's great and all. You get to see all the cars. They're just, you know, a little bit far away. I'd say that. Just, you know, just a little bit far away. Just a little bit. So, let's have another go at this, shall we? All 19 cars will line up on the grid once again, though the Stone Towel is kind of missing. And it doesn't appear that we'll have the same troubles like we did on the first formation lap. So here we go for the season finale here in Mexico City. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights out. And away we go. Alp has a traditional Alp start. It's not particularly amazing. He has Nicholas alongside. And here we go. This is one of the best camera shots in Formula 1, I might add. Look at that! Just a sea of colour. Nicholas down the inside. He's challenging for the lead. Through turn 2 come the leaders. Everyone just trying to find a bit of track to race on. The 2 racing points looking fairly solid. Now it's the 2 Mercedes as Fenrique goes into second place. The championship protagonists are 1 and 2 at the moment. Passassin in 4th, Toad in 5th. Alpha Nicholas in 6th. There's a bit of scrapping going on in the background as the medium runners go right to the back of the field. Through the high-speed S section in the second sector. Exiting it now. Here we go through the third sector. Arba challenging JD for position. He goes into 8th place. So fairly controlled start. All of the medium runners have fallen back behind all the soft runners. And into the pits goes JD after the very first lap, so he must have damage of some description. Oop, not mini-map. I want full track map. There we go. Yep, new front wing onto JD's car, as I thought. But Nicholas leading the way. He's just got a little under 7/10 of a second to his main rival Fenrique. Alp in 3rd place has got Passassin on the back of him. Then it's Toad in P5. Alpha Nicholas hanging on to P6 for the moment. Just looking at the position change. Fenrique's made up 3 positions. Andy's made up 4 positions. Bodhod up 4. Lopez up 6. That is a superb start. Easily the biggest winner from the start. 2 drivers that lost out. Obviously JD with the pit stop, but also Mitch Burns down in 16th place. Now this is the trouble early on. It's going to be difficult to know where to look. Here comes Alpha Nicholas getting past Toad into 5th place, and that was without DRS as well. We saw at Azerbaijan that Alpha Nicholas was incredibly quick in a straight line. Perhaps he's applied the same philosophy here in Mexico City, where his car is a straight line demon. Oh, and around the outside. Hello, Bean. Where did you come from? Down the inside. He's forced onto the massive sausage curb at the apex at turn 5, and Toad shuts the door at turn 6. He stays in P6 for now. But already in the opening stages of this race, we've got a top 4 forming as Alp runs wide. And here comes Passassin with a whole heap of momentum. He's unable to get by though into turn 12. Exiting the stadium now. It's Nicholas from Fenrique, from Alp, and Passassin just in behind is Alpha Nicholas. There's PLR Toad, then SWM Bean. And it's the 2 Renaults, Arba and Bersey. They're P8 and 9. Andy Wu in the McLaren rounds out the top 10. At the front of the field with DRS enabled, Fenrique's challenging for position. He is 3/10 behind his rival, sitting in the slipstream. Pulls to the inside. He goes for it. Can't make it stick though. Nicholas hangs on around the outside. He stays in the lead for now. And Fenrique, he'll have to put up with the turbulent air coming from the Red Bull through this high-speed S section. Turn 7, 8, turns 9, 10 and 11. Fenrique loses a whole heap of time, runs wide. That will be a warning. He's now 7/10 behind his rival, as Alp is under a lot of pressure here from Passassin. Passassin round the outside. He'll have the inside line for 13. Keeps his nose there. Alp gives him the space. But exiting the stadium, Alp stays out in front, and he should have DRS. His teammate was only 9/10 ahead of him. Crossing the line, yes, he does have DRS. So he has a small reprieve. But here comes Alpha Nicholas. We saw how quick he was without DRS. He's not close enough to attack though, as JD has crashed out at the high-speed S section in the second sector. He is out of this race. Barmer has retired in the pit lane, so within a matter of 20 seconds we have 2 retirements. Alpha Nicholas close but no cigar. He can't go for position just yet. Bean and Toad following suit, as Andy overtakes Bursey. Round the outside, he has the inside line for turn 5. Bursey tries to stick the nose up there, but he's unable to make any sort of inroads to try and take 9th place back. Andy keeps it for now. Will Toad go for an opportunistic move here? He shows the nose. He was just trying to put Bean off, but Bean is not fazed by such things. Stays out in front for now. JD has left the session. Drivers go down towards turns 1, 2 and 3. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I have to charge this controller, so you will hear a little bit of buzzing. Hopefully it won't be too loud and too disorientating. But after a while, I should be able to take this out, as the battery in this is quite a quick charging battery, so hopefully it won't take too long. But look at the leaders, really scrapping for position at the moment. Heading around turn 6, a double apex hairpin. Lovely aerial shot here. I love these aerial shots. They are fantastic. Through the high-speed S's. Turbulent air affecting the cars behind. You just don't have anywhere near as much downforce through that section as you do when you're at the front of it. The Mercedes have to play a smart game here. It's a very, very long race, but they've got 2 drivers at the front of the field compared to Red Bull, where they only have 1. Granted, Bean isn't too far behind time-wise, but he's got 2 irritating pink cars right in front of him. That's what he'd be thinking anyway. He wants to get by those pink Mercedes and try and challenge the black Mercedes for the sake of the championship. At the moment, he's kind of stuck in no man's land, well behind the racing points as of right now. Fenrique, is he close enough to attack? I think he is. DRS open, using overtake. Again, pulls to the inside. This time he has a nose in, but Nicholas shuts him out. Incredible stuff there from Nicholas. Outbrakes the Brazilian around the outside and then abruptly shuts the door. Not giving up as a Canadian, he wants this more than anybody would see. But Fenrique must know this is an incredibly long race. The race isn't won here. It's won when you see the checkered flag. He can play a very smart game here with Nicholas, if he so chooses. And he has his teammate for backup. And out of all the drivers you want as a teammate, probably SWM Alp is one of them, as Fenrique has a penalty. Did he just get that then? Or have I just been not paying any sort of attention? Could have swore you didn't have a penalty a few moments ago. Anyway, so Fenrique gets his first penalty for tonight's race. Now, penalties are without a doubt going to play their part in this race. They are so easy to accumulate over the course of this race because of what the track demands from you. You have to abuse all of the track limits, whether it be the complex of turns 1 through 2 and 3 or the high-speed S's in the middle sector. You have to use every millimeter of racetrack to stay competitive. But if you go over those limits, The game, with no hesitation, will give you a warning, and if you accumulate enough, it will give you a penalty. And they can be incredibly costly because, as you can see, the racing here is still very close. See, from first all the way down to 8th, they're all within a second of each other. And we're 8 laps into this. Nicholas, though, trying to break away. He's got the biggest margin in this train. But he hasn't broken outside of that critical 1 second margin. So Fenrique is still keeping Nicholas company. Towards the heavy braking zone of turn 1, the gap closes to within the half a second, demonstrating the power of DRS. Seems like it's about 3 or so tenths of a second down each straight. Shows you how powerful a device that thing is. Guys are really giving each other a hard time. Mitch Burns and Wingett are currently having a battle. That's for 13th. But I've got to keep my eyes on this. This is the championship battle. Fenrique's losing ground. He's almost outside of a second to Nicholas. Nicholas needs to push. An opportunity has arisen and he needs to take it. He needs to get out of that 1 second range now. And I think he just might have. No, he hasn't. Fenrique is in the pits. Hello. We'll pull it up. He pulls it up. Passassin follows. Same with Toad in the Ferrari, and onto the medium compound tyre goes Fenrique. He's going to undercut. Well, at the very least, he's going to attempt the undercut. He needs to push this lap, but so does Nicholas. Nicholas can't be complacent here. Now these guys will get DRS at pit exit. Yes, they do. So. And they will get it on the next straight as well, so this lap should be very, very quick for Fenrique and Passassin. I think Toad would be in the same scenario as well. Yes, he is. So they can afford to really push on this outlap, try and make this undercut work. I would think Nicholas will do the same thing, and probably Alp will copy Nicholas. That will be a smart idea. To keep Nicholas company throughout the race, to have a guy who's incredibly quick first of all, but on the exact same strategy, who's going to do the exact same thing as you. That way Nicholas has he will always have to look in his wing mirrors, and Alp's following. This is smart stuff, I think, from the Benz crew. Bean stays out. He's going to go long in this first stint, onto the medium tyre. Nicholas does the same. Where's Fenrique? He's coming around the second last turn, now around the final turn. Keep an eye on that dark blue dot exiting the pit lane. And there he goes, slingshotting past. There is Nicholas, and the undercut has worked. So Fenrique into 5th place, his rival down to 7th. And Fenrique, he's got a car in between him as well. So it may be difficult to keep that car behind him. Passassin, he has DRS. And there goes Bodhod. Sort of in the mix of all this. Passassin, a big set! They made contact at turn 4. Round turn 5. That was a big send from Passassin. He managed to pull it up. Credit to him. He pulled it up. Then he made contact. But it wasn't significant enough to give either car damage. He got there. Alp all over the back of Nicholas now. Genuinely on between some of these guys. As you can see, the front wings of Passassin and Fenrique, they look pretty intact. So it was a pretty big send from Passassin, but I'm quite surprised that it didn't result in any sort of damage. He just managed to pull it up, just enough. They still made contact, but It wasn't too significant. Now, we saw how big of a send Passassin sent at turn 4. Doesn't go for the move at turn 1 though, stays behind. Through turn 2, now turn 3. Passassin has a penalty as well. There's Nicholas and Alp. Enrique actually got a fantastic exit out of turn 4. He hangs on to second for now. The car leading at the moment is Lopez. He's 7.7 seconds up the road. Now through the high-speed second sector. This is where Passassin, Nicholas and Alp will lose so much time because of the turbulent air coming off the Mercedes-Benz. Gap is about 0.6 of a second heading into the third DRS zone towards the stadium section. Gap closes up just a little bit round the hairpin, the dogleg corner. Exiting the stadium now, the gap is a little over half a second. Crossing the line now, they begin lap 14 of 36. Lap 13 of 46, I forgot. Lopez is still leading this race. Fenrique goes to the inside, trying to break the toe. Here comes Passassin. He looks, doesn't commit to the move. Fenrique seems to be fairly unfazed by that. He took a pretty nice run through that opening complex. Barreling towards turn 4. Passassin, I don't think he's close enough to go for the move, and isn't close enough to go for the move. Stays in third for now, and again they will have to go through the high speed middle sector. Through they go, following each other. Now, because of the prompts not working, I do have to keep tabs over the penalties. Top 3, with Lopez currently leading, they all have penalties. Nicholas and Alp don't. Passassin, he is all over the back of the Mercedes-Benz. I reckon Passassin will have him here. He is close enough to go for the move. Fenrique tries his might. Will try and break the toe. Will he look? Fenrique defends. Passassin will have to go around the long way. Oh, they're side by side. Oh, they make contact. They almost go into the wall. And Nicholas says, thank you very much. I'll take that from you. Fenrique and Passassin fall down to 4th and 5th. Passassin down the inside still. Oh, that could have been a championship ending incident there for Fenrique. But somehow, some way, they both kept out of the wall. Oh, that was close. That was incredibly close. But it's not just easy going for Nicholas. He has got a Mercedes-Benz all over the back of him. And onto this lap, Alp will have DRS, Nicholas won't. Nicholas will have a hard time keeping the most successful driver in AM1 history behind. Lopez into the pits. So now Nicholas becomes our race leader, but I assume that's not going to be the case for long. As here we go, with no battery left, he has dumped everything, Alp. Nicholas has a little bit in reserve, and through goes Alp. Oh, but Nicholas is fighting. They are side by side through turn 2, side by side through turn 3. We've seen this before, haven't we? But it didn't result in any sort of incident. Nicholas hangs on. He is fighting. Heading towards turn 4. Alp sends it. No contact. Round the outside, Alp, he's trying. And here comes Passassin from the incident earlier. He's right on the gearbox of the Mercedes. Fenrique's right there. Same with Alpha Nicholas. He's been reintroduced into this battle. Same with Toad. He's not too far behind in the Ferrari as well. And he has no championship implications next to his name. He just wants a good result, so he's going to be fighting for sure. There's Bean, just in the background in P7. Nicholas will be praying that his teammate can catch up soon. He needs some backup. Rounding the second last turn, around the final turn, they begin lap 16 of 36. 21 laps to go. A lot of racing still ahead of us. Alp again close, looking to the inside. No battery left, but this time he gets it done. He's into the lead of this race, and he'll pull away again using DRS. Nicholas, he won't be able to do anything. Rounding turn 5 towards a hairpin of 6, and that's a mistake from Fenrique. He lost a little bit of momentum through turn 5. He clobbered the sausage curb. Fortunately, he didn't lose precision, but he had Alpha Nicholas all over the back of him. Through the high-speed S's, they go. Fighting the turbulent air. Exiting turn 11 towards 12. They'll enter the stadium section. There's your race leader, Alp. He's already pulled 8 tenths to Nicholas. And it's not over for the Canadian. He's got Passassin all over the back of him. Though he does have a bit of a reprieve. He'll have DRS here. And so it's not as if Passassin will be able to gain momentum and try and slingshot past down the inside into either turns 1 or 4. He'll have to stay behind for now. And Bean's caught onto the back of the train. Perhaps Nicholas can find the backup that he desperately needs. Because with 2 Mercedes in the top 4 and only 1 Red Bull, it's not great. And there's Arba. It's an 8-way fight. They're all within a second of each other. What is going on? I have never seen such a thing. 8 cars so closely contesting for the lead. Nicholas retakes it. Passassin tries to fight. Right on board with Enrique. This will be an interesting point of view. Out with the inside line. Nicholas, I think, just ran a little bit wide there because of Alp. He had to sort of not take the apex, otherwise he definitely would have made contact. But what an incredible race this is turning out to be. I've never seen such action like this before. Through the stadium. Now around the final 2 curves to begin lap 18. We're finally hitting the halfway mark in this race. And all of these guys are more or less on the same strategy. Here comes Passassin, trying to overtake both of them. It is 3 wide into turn 1, and Passassin takes the lead. But Alp, with the inside line at turn 2, tries to take it for himself. He is side by side with Nicholas, and Nicholas falls to 3rd. And the Red Bull has no DRS. He is going to be a sitting duck out there. And here comes Fenrique down the inside. Nicholas fights hard. Round turn 5, the 2 Mercedes-Benzes, the Ferrari, and the racing point of Alpha Nicholas make contact. Bean is now up to 6th. Towards the high-speed S's once again, Passassin finds himself in the lead by 8 tenths of a second. He needs to nail this lap and try and pull out that 1 second margin. That magical 1 second margin. If he can try and pull away from the absolute carnage fest that is going on back here. Towed down the inside of Bean. This is not what Bean wants. He wants to help his teammate. Contact again through the hairpin at turn 13. Through 14 and 15, Bean's out in front once again in P6. Nicholas still has DRS, I believe. He does. He'll close back in on Passassin. Passassin will lose about 3 or so tenths on this straight alone. Alp will follow suit. Fenrique isn't too far behind, but he needs to stay within a second at the end of this lap. He cannot afford to be outside of it. Around the turn 1, 2, 3 complex that opens this lap. Needs to now turn 3. That way he can maximise the straight line speed down this incredibly long straight. Heading towards turn 4. Round they go. Then turn 5. And into the hairpin of turn 6, Fenrique is outside of a second range to his teammate. He'd be pleading to his teammates, back off a little bit, I need DRS, otherwise you're going to lose me in this fight for the top 3. He's currently 1.3 3-ish seconds behind his teammate. He won't have DRS here. Lunacy has retired from the session. He was retired in the pits. That is our third retirement of the race. Rather spectacularly, with all this stuff going on, we've had no safety car. Credit really to the drivers. They're really good at what they do. None of them are planning to have an accident. Exiting the final corner, heading onto the pit straight once again. Fenrique has no DRS. He's just a little bit away from his teammate. Alpha Nicholas will introduce himself to Fenrique. He closes in rapidly on his fellow countryman, entering turn 1. Gap increases to 1.5 seconds between Alpha and Fenrique. The more the gap increases, the less the likelihood of Fenrique winning this championship. Now all of the top 10 except for this man Nicholas and Andy in 10th have penalties as of right now. You can see Alpha Nicholas has got a colossal 21 seconds next to his name. Toad on 15, Fenrique on 9 seconds. Looking at that sort of information, it's going to be difficult for Fenrique to win this as Nicholas, Alpha Nicholas, goes into 4th place. All that Fenrique can do now is hope, pray that Nicholas gets into some sort of trouble as Toad goes into the pits. Those are soft compound tyres coming out. This will be a very early pit stop to go onto the soft tyre and go to the end. He's planning to get a tremendously large undercut. That's a lot of penalties. That is a serious amount of penalties. Rounding turn 4. The top 3 now. 3 different teams battling in the first 3 places. Through the high-speed S section once again. Nicholas will get DRS here. Close in on Passassin just a little bit, heading towards turn 12. There is a car in front. I believe that's the Stone Towel. It is. His car's in AI. He's been struggling to connect to the session, it would seem. Underneath the DHL bridge. Rounding the final turn. Lap 22 has begun. The gap between the top 2, 0.6 of a second. Passassin running on the marbles, trying to break the toe. Nicholas staying on the cleaner racing line. Entering turn 1. Round turn 2. Turn 3. You'll get DRS here. Close in on Passassin, using overtake as well. He may be smelling a chance here. Round the outside. Passassin keeps it there though. You'll have the inside line for turn 5. They made contact. Passassin is run wide. Round turn 6. Nicholas takes the lead once again. Whew. This is very thrilling stuff. And we still have one more pit stop to go through in this race. The ghosting car of the Stone Towel trying to get out of the way. Right on board without. Give you his POV at the moment. Currently following Nicholas and Passassin. He has a little bit of battery saved up, 30 odd percent. Passassin has 20. Nicholas has about the same amount. I reckon Passassin is going to go for a move here down the inside at turn 1. Breaks deep, commits to the move, and retakes the lead. Almost exactly a lap later, after Nicholas passed him for the lead at turn 4. Alpin's having a look though, down the inside perhaps. Stick contact and spin! Alp spins out! The two rival teams in the Constructors' Championship make contact at turn 4. And Alp spins out down to 7th place. This is not good for Mercedes. Not good at all. So what was a 3-way fight for the win has now turned into a 2-horse race. Passassin and Nicholas leading 1-2. Passassin has 6 seconds? Yes, 6 seconds worth of pens. Currently leading. Nicholas in the hot seat at the moment. No penalties. He has DRS to play with as well. He can play a sensible game from here to the checkered flag. But does the racer in him want to battle Passassin for position? I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Round turn 2, then turn 3. Oh, and Passassin run wide. He run very... Oh, and a spin! Oh my goodness, that is some accident. And Nicholas is out. Alpha Nicholas is out of the race. He has had an accident at turn 3, and we have a full course something. What is it? It is a virtual safety car. That's a big crash at the exit of turn 3, and somehow, some way, that has only resulted in a virtual. I don't know about you, but if I was a steward and I saw something like that, I'd probably bring out a proper safety car. But anywho, what a fascinating race this is turning out to be. So that is retirement number 4. Now how long will this VSC stay out? Because these guys might be tempted to pit to try and take advantage of the VSC. Into the pits goes Passassin. He is going to take advantage of it. Nicholas isn't. Bean is. Fenrique isn't. Arba is pitting, but now we're back under green flag racing, I think. We still have yellow flags all over the racetrack. What's going on? Oh no, we don't have this glitch, do we? Surely not. That glitch is horrible to listen to. Oh, there we go. The yellow flags are gone. Thank goodness. There is a glitch in this game where you can get full course yellows all over the racetrack, even though there's no accident on the racetrack. And then you're basically prohibited from overtaking anybody. Had a similar thing in a league race I did at Montreal, where we have full course yellows for the final like 7 laps, and no one could overtake anyone. It was great. Now Bersey has left the session, so Passassin will have to pass the AI. Ooh, gee whiz. Look how quick he is, just nailing the apexes. Look at that. Absolutely flat. I wish I could do that. I can't do that. I suck at that. There's Toe just in behind in P6. Whereabouts is Alp? Alp is in 9th place. Rounding the stadium section, he's behind Arbar, fighting for position. Alp needs to recover as many positions as he humanly can as Andy is in the pits. Pit onto the soft tyre to go to the end. Alp will overtake Arbar. And there he goes. Into 7th place. Now Alp's going to pass Bersey, the other Renault. There he goes. Alp on fresh rubber. Probably going to be in angry mode, I imagine. Try and drive as fast as he can. Make up as many positions as he can. Try and fight for something. Whoa. How can you be so committed? I do not understand. You have to be aliens. There is no way that you're human. Nicholas in. His final pit stop onto the soft compound tyre. Fenrique follows suit. He exits the pit lane. There's the Haas of somebody. That must be the Stone Towel. Mitch Burns is still racing on track at the moment. So Passassin now leads the way with a massive margin, 4.1 seconds over Bean. Those are the drivers who pitted on the VSC, mind you. They have taken a massive advantage from it. Toad in third, Alp in fourth, Nicholas in P5, 6/10 behind the Mercedes-Benz. He's got Arbar on the back of him right now. Unable to get by though. Fenrique down in 8th place now. Unless something happens to Nicholas, you would have to say championship over for Fenrique. But we still have a lot of racing. Basically, Nicholas is holding all the cards. It's his championship. Only he can lose it from here. Around the final couple of turns, and here comes Alp sitting right behind the Ferrari of Toad. Pulls out of the slipstream. DRS over, using a little bit of overtake. Well, what little he has left anyway. And here comes Nicholas. Round the outside into turn 1. He's deep. He has the inside line for 2. Alp has the inside line for 3. They make contact again. Nicholas runs wide and gets a penalty. And there's Arba just in behind. Alp has to give up 4 for now. Oh, Arba's right on the back of the gearbox of the Mercedes-Benz there. He was very close. But these two had contact earlier, resulting in Alp having a spin. See how respectful the racing will be between these two now. Whoa! How are you so in control of a car that's completely out of control, Alp? What the hell, man? How can you do that? It's impossible. That car was sideways. That had to have been... That camera shot made it look like it was completely sideways, and still he was fast. They're aliens. They have to be. Down the long pitch straight, sitting in the slipstream with DRS wide open. Closing in on Nicholas. Heading into turn 1. Down the inside. Nicholas will hang it around the outside. Has the inside line for turn 2. Round turn 3 we go. Gets a great exit out. Sitting right behind Nicholas. DRS open once again. Around the long way this time. And he gets it done. He has the inside line for turn 5. Gets the switchback, Nicholas. He'll have the inside line for turn 6. And he gets pushed out wide, Alp. Back into 3rd place goes the Red Bull. Through the high-speed S's, exiting turn 11. There is Bean. Capitalising on the virtual safety car, he now finds himself in 2nd place. Suddenly, with only several laps to go, it's a complete role reversal between Red Bull and Mercedes. Throughout this entire race, we had 2 Mercedes-Benzes pretty much inside the top 4 all the time, and Nicholas having to fend them off. Now with that virtual coming out and Bean taking full advantage of it, it's currently a Red Bull 2-3. Alp shows the nose. They might have made contact there. But he'd be loving this. He'll be loving the show that these two are putting on. And he'll be kind of crossing his fingers that they trip over each other and he can gain a couple of positions out of it. Because, you know, every driver would think that. But for the most part, he'd be enjoying these two just giving each other a hard time. Out in front, Passassin by himself. No worries at the moment. Of course, penalties will have to play a part in this. Tell you what, when the leaders cross the line, we'll change it to penalties. Everyone's on the soft tyre, so No need to look at tyres anymore. We'll just have to look at penalties, because that is going to be the key factor in this race in terms of shaping out the results here. So we got 6 laps to go. 6 more times around this circuit. Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Toad has retired in the pits. He's had enough. I suppose that is a bit understandable. So, looking at the penalties, Besassen on 6, Bean on 11, Nicholas only on 3, but it's the same with Alp as well. They're both on the same penalties, so they're both genuinely fighting for position. Then you got Lopez in P6. Wait a minute. And he's going to the end. Where did Lopez come from? Well, we know who's getting driver of the day, don't we? What a drive from Lopez. That's more than impressive. That's sublime. Not tyre, penalties. But he's on 12 seconds, but so is Fenrique. He'll only lose position to Andy, who is nearly 10 seconds behind Fenrique. So if Lopez can keep his head down and keep setting decent lap times, there's a fair chance that he can finish in the top 6 tonight, which will be some result for him. That'd be a tremendously fantastic result. That's Bursey's car, if I'm not mistaken, exiting the pits, his AI. And Alp now has 6 seconds worth of penalties now. So Nicholas and Alp aren't on even ground anymore. Alp is on the lower ground. Six seconds worth of pens, meaning that in order to finish in front of Nicholas, as Bodhod elects to retire from the race in the pit lane, Alp needs to overtake Nicholas and build up a 3-second margin, and from the looks of things, that's not going to happen. Rounding the stadium section once again. Can Alp do anything? Sitting in the slipstream. Nicholas has DRS. Maintaining a solid margin. It's all thanks to his teammate Bean. Ooh, that's Bodhod's car in AI mode. Just wandering on the racing line because the AI had the IQ of a walnut. And there goes Nicholas into second place. He'll try and catch up to Besassen if he can. He needs to close in 3.5 seconds in order to try and take the win. It'll be some task. It is possible though. Now Bean has to deal with Alp. And Bean's just going to be a tremendous nuisance, I imagine, to try and not allow the Mercedes-Benz to challenge Nicholas. Three laps to go. Three laps to the end of what has been a very fine season of racing. Doesn't go for the move, Alp. Stays in behind for now. Rounding turn 3, sitting in the slipstream. DRS open, using overtake. Does he go for a move? He looks, he goes! No contact. Oh, sideways though. That was very sideways there from Alp. And he's still using overtake. Alp, switch it off. There you go. Oh, he's used overtake again. What a place to use overtake. Oh, the car's twitching left and right. trying to use every ounce of power he can find. Bean now has 14 seconds worth of penalties. So the current top three looks like Passassin, Nicholas and Alp, according to those penalties. 2 laps to go. Bean has got a lot of penalties next to his name. It doesn't help with the fact that he got a 5-second for speeding when he pitted for that under VSC. I remember seeing that. And Fenrique gets by Lopez. Fenrique on 15 seconds. Lopez on 12. So if Lopez can just stay with Fenrique, he's still on with the top 6 finish. He just needs to worry about Andy behind. Andy can try and get P6 in the end if he just stays within 12 seconds of Lopez. I don't think there's much Alf can do now. I think it's time to bring out the white flag, boys. This has been some fight between all of these guys. It's been a dramatic battle. But Passassin will now begin the final lap. It's been some drive from Passassin. He's driven very, very well. In fairness, all of the drivers pretty much in the top 8 drove well. They were fighting each other so hard, so well. But in the end, Passassin has a healthy margin over Nicholas, 6.3 seconds. Coming through turns 4 and 5 for the final time. He's still got a big enough margin, even with the extra 3 seconds worth of penalties to Nicholas. He will still hang on to the race win. Not that it would matter too much to this man. This man has driven superbly over the course of this season. He's taken several race wins. And although he's not going to win the race here today, he's going to win something that means a hell of a lot more. Passassin, he will round the final turn to take the win here in Mexico City, but COS Nicholas will round the final curve to come home in second, but critically, he is the AM1 Drivers' Champion. Alp will finish in P3, Arba in P4, SWM Bean in P5, and I'm pretty sure, even with rough math, Red Bull will take the Constructors' Championship quite easily. Andy will end up finishing in P6, only 0.4 of a second between Andy and Lopez in the end. Still, Lopez making up many positions. He will easily get Driver of the Day. Fenrique, he fought, but ultimately came up second best. Doesn't take away how hard he fought during this race. He tried. In the end, he ends up finishing in 8th place. Kittenpetter in P9, and Wingett will be our final finisher in P10. Or rather, not final finisher. The final driver inside the top 10. We had 3 other drivers who did finish that race. Driver of the Day. Lopez, easy choice, I would think. Perhaps it's all finally clicked for Lopez. He's starting to work the wheel out. Or that hard work is starting to pay off. But what a great end to the season. I didn't think the racing would be too good around here, and, well, I was wrong. There was some spectacular stuff going on. Kept me on our toe. Kept me on my toes, at least. But, towards the end it died down, but you get that every so often. But throughout the majority of that race, that was fantastic. But congratulations, Passassin, on a fine victory. But Nicholas, with that 2nd place finish, secures the Drivers' Championship for this season. Alp in 3rd, he fought hard and he took fastest lap as well. He ended up finishing on the podium from starting on pole. Arba in 4th place. That's some drive from 8th, actually. Drove very well, kept out of trouble. In 4th place for him. Bean in 5th. Andy in 6th. Lopez 7th. Fenrique in 8th. Kittenpetter in 9th. And Wingett rounds out the top 10. There will be Mitch Burns in P11. And Burns for Stone Towel. I don't think either one of them joined back. So it's actually only 11 finishes at the end of this race. How about that? But congratulations to Nicholas and also to Bean, securing both the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship for AM1. Well, there we go. What an end to a championship season, huh? After 11 races, quite a short season. Still action-packed, a lot of stuff happened. It's an absolute pleasure to commentate this. It was a lot of fun. Well done to this lot. I remember when I joined, Arba sent me the message that the Mercedes boys were going to be the strong ones, Alp and Fenrique. 2 of the more successful drivers in the field, and in the end it was the Red Bull boys, the main challengers. They rose up, they fought, and they conquered. There we go. Fine end indeed to a season. Whew. Now I get to have a little bit of a break, which would be nice. But ladies and gentlemen, that will end this stream and this season of racing. Well, in the AM1 Championship at least, here on Contest of Speed. I hope all of you have enjoyed your time watching these. I certainly have. And a great championship finale for the Drivers and Teams Championship, which ultimately went to Nicholas and Red Bull Racing. I'm about to lose my voice, so I better wrap it up now. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I've been the Smeg, and we'll see you next season, whenever that may be, for the AM1 Championship in Contest of Speed. Until then, goodbye.